Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
So Jack, how's camp been going for you so far?
Yeah, good. Same old. Just not running a marathon every other day to cut the weight. It's nice to be full, nice to have energy. Nice to feel the benefit. I did like a bit of a strength and muscle sort of increased program before Christmas. So I was always injured, so I was limited to what I could do in the gym. So now a lot of weights, a lot of lean muscle gain, and it's nice to feel it pay off in the gym. So it's just so far so good. Still got 7-8 weeks, but yeah, it's just been a good start.
Awesome stuff. And you mentioned previously that, and you just mentioned again, that a big part of your camp in bantamweight was just running. So how does that feel? That's not a part of this camp.
Yeah, it's not. I'm still running, but not as fucking much. Like, fuck me, I would run morning and night, probably 4 or 5 days a week. Legs would be toast, and I think like even in the weight cut, I'd be like fight week, I'd be running 10k every single day to strip some weight off. So it is nice to focus more on my technical sessions. Nice to go into sparring, not feeling fatigued. There's a lot more structure to my running now. You know, we got with Paul Reed, so he's structuring how far I'm running. If I, you know, because he told me there's no need to run every day, but I like to run. I come from not a boxing background. I boxed as a kid, and you know I take a lot of inspiration in people like Carl Zaghi, Floyd Mayweather. I know they do a lot of running, so I like to do a lot of running as well, just to make sure I'm fit. But now this structure, guys, not like just jump on the run and sweat. It's, you know, go this far or go for this long, keep your heart rate in this rate. And I'm sprinting. Let's track your times, see how fast you're recovering. So there's a lot more science to it now, rather than just jump on the runner and fucking go and try and knock 10k up.
Yeah. So you're making your UFC Featherweight debut in March. You've been matched up with Makwan Amirkhani. Has he been on your radar? Is he someone that you've thought about? Or?
Funny enough, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say be on my radar, but when I decided to go up the featherweight, we were kind of having an eye on whether they would chuck me straight in with the ranked guys because I'm ranked at bantamweight, or was ranked at bantamweight, or would they kind of make me work my way up? And I think it's just kind of like an in-between that. He's an established name. I think, you know, he hasn't been in the greatest of form in his last few fights, but he has fought some really good guys, and my old man doesn't get a lot wrong, and he said I wouldn't be surprised. There was a couple of names he mentioned, and he happened to be one of them, and then obviously we had the text through to say it was going to be him. So I wouldn't say he's on my radar as such, but I've watched him a couple of times in the past, fought on the same cards, so I know who he is. I've seen him fight, and it's always nice to fight someone who you've kind of seen fight before, rather than never heard of him. It's like, right, let's fucking see what we got to deal with here. And I kind of know. Yeah, I kind of know I was getting myself into as soon as they sent the name.
How you feel about fighting in UFC London, back on home turf?
Yeah, good crack last time. Good to have the crowd back. Good to it's kind of an home show for me. It was close to an home show as I'm gonna get. So I would imagine there'll be plenty of Welsh flags. Even plenty of English guys. I got a lot of English fans and Irish and Scottish fans as well. So it'll be nice to be the hometown fighter. I didn't feel like I was the away fighter, to be honest, in New York, but the London crowd's different. There's a different buzz to it.
Jack Shaw make themselves very well then.
Yes.
On social media.
They make a little bit of a noise, and you know, they can be a little bit, what's the word? Confrontational, defensive, fight my battles for me. But yeah, there'll be plenty up there.
So I want to talk a little bit about the rise of Shore MMA. You've attracted fighters from all over Wales, all from grassroots, amateur to pro. How does that feel for you that Shore MMA is really putting Welsh MMA on the map?
Yeah, it's good to see because we invest a lot of money in the gym. We spent a long time. I say we, you know, these boys who came before me as well spent a long time laying the foundations, and obviously my old man and Carl and Hemo, they built to then move in this facility and obviously get locked down for 2 years pretty much. It felt like we was coming on leaps and bounds. We wasn't getting short. It was only me and Brett and Marshman getting fights, being in the UFC, and obviously Brett and Bellator. The amateur scene was non-existent in COVID, and then we sort of come out of the lockdown and whatever, and then we hit the ground running. Like I think last year we had like an 85% win ratio. I think the amateurs, between them lost like 4 fights all year out of probably close to 50 fights, which speaks for itself. And I think 3 of those was, or 4 or 2 of those was on was on the world stage at the IMAF. So it feels good. It feels really good to see the coaches' hard work paying off, and it's good to see kids. I call them kids, they're not kids no more. Like, I see young boys in the gym now who I think of as kids that are 18, 19, 20 years of age, like beating up men, well, even young ones at 17 beating up men. So it feels good to see them sort of follow. I don't want to make out like they're following in my footsteps and whatever, but it's nice to see them go the same route I did and start to make, you know, because it's easy to fall in the shadow of the boys who come in front of you. So it's nice to see them kind of not be known as Jack and Brett's teammate. Now they're establishing their own names and winning their own titles and making their own name for themselves, which is good for me and good for the gym as well.
Exactly, but I think if you asked a lot of the boys and girls that train you, actually, you are almost a perfect example of what fight should be. You went to Cage Warriors, you were champion there, now you're in the UFC. A lot of people, that seems to be the blueprint for success for this gym anyway, and I'm sure a lot of the amateurs would like to follow those footsteps. You've mentioned before that you would be interested, this is after fighting, in maybe a life in coaching. Would that be something you're still considering?
Yeah, definitely. I won't call myself a coach. No, I do coach the kids class, and I do like to help out the boys where I can. If I can lend them a bit of advice, if they got questions, I'm always happy to answer it. But I've been in fighting and martial arts 20 plus years, so I'd like to think I understand it pretty well, and I do have an eye for things. I see certain things in fights that not everyone sees. I see patterns. I'm quite known for having an eye fight IQ, so I think that would transcend well into coaching. But coaching is a different game completely. The patience my old man and Carl have got is something I probably haven't got just yet. So I don't think I could jump straight from fighter to coach. I'm going to have to transition a little bit, but definitely I'll never not be in this gym. I'll always help the boys out where I can, whether that be managing fighters, coaching fighters, who knows, maybe one day even promoting fighters. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So just taking a little bit back to the now, should March be successful for you and you defeat Makwan Amirkhani, do you want to be active this year?
Yeah, I do want to be active. It'll all fall to timing. My missus is pregnant, so I'm doing my first kid in July. Yeah, thanks. So I mean, I'd like to get another one in between that, but I don't want to be, you know, she's due end of July, so last thing I want to fucking do is book a fight.
Yeah.
First week of July, and then she and I'm in Vegas, and she ends up going into hospital. So it will come down to timing. I'll see what the UFC announce schedule wise. Obviously, another European card would be ideal because it's not a million miles away from home. And should something happen, I can get home a lot quicker than what I can if I'm in Vegas. But it'd be nice to get 3 fights this year. I've got 3 fights left on my contract, so it'd be nice to buy out 3 wins this year and go into, you know, without wishing the year away, looking into 2024, hopefully a nice new contract, and put me in a position where I can start challenging the rank guys at Featherweight as well.
There is one man at Featherweight that I'm sure a few fans would be particularly interested in you fighting in time, and if you did fight him, you'd have the opportunity to avenge teammate Josh Reed. Wouldn't Finland be something on your radar?
Yeah, of course he would. If he's got a tough fight in London against Earle, a tough fight for both of them, both good strikers, and if our fight materialises, which it could well do, then that's something that I'd obviously be happy to take. I mean, I'd fight fucking Mike Tyson if they told me to, so I wouldn't be afraid to fight anyone in the featherweight division. And me and Wood, a lot of people have been calling that for a while, so we'll see what happens. Laurent could win though, and
true.
No, and then maybe me and him could end up fighting. There's so many fights out there, but yeah, that's a fight that could it'd be nice to get something back for Josh, wouldn't it? But we'll see what happens. We'll see how he gets on, and we'll see what the UFC want to do.
Awesome stuff. Right, so I'm just going to finish off with a few rapid fire questions now. So just say the first thing that comes to mind. Some of them
It's
will
a dangerous game to play. This is.
Some will be MMA related, some won't be. So
yeah.
Here we go. So dream featherweight opponent.
Dream featherweight. I'm trying to think of some of the top guys, because like it looks like Volkanovski, you know, is going to move on. Someone like Brian Ortega, I think would be a fun fight. He's got a wicked jiu-jitsu style, and I fancy myself as a bit of a good grappler as well. So that'd be a good one I'd like to have.
Favourite current fighter? I think we know this.
Yeah, Nate Diaz. Yeah, if you still want to class him, he's still a fighter, isn't he? Nate Diaz.
Very much a fighter. I don't think I ever got a fighter. Favourite meal in camp?
Favourite meal in like
a diet.
Diet meal, chicken, like a chicken salad wrap.
Oh,
fucking nice and simple.
Yeah.
Always feel satisfied after that one.
Slow release. So, if there was a film made about your life, who would you cast to play yourself?
Oh fucking hell. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt 10 years ago.
Nice one. So, I know you're interested in WWE, WWF. Who is your dream tag team partner, past and present?
Oh, it's gotta be fucking past. It's gotta be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Good choice.
Present, Brock Lesnar.
Ooh.
He could carry the fuck. He could do the damage. I'll just come in and finish it off, kind of thing, like.
3 submissions. So, 3 tips for up and coming MMA fighters.
3 tips. Listen to your coaches. Make sure that your coaches actually know what they're talking about. They, you know, and have been there, seen it, and done it, and because you don't want to be up fucking shit street about the paddle. Like, you don't want to be 2 rounds down, having a bit of a tater in, and then you've got guys in the corner that have never been there or who don't know what to say to you. You want to make sure that you've got guys who are experienced and know you inside out enough and can say, right, well, this is working, this is not. So yeah, listen to your team. That was 1. Get good coaches, and 3, just kind of like chase the dream. That's what I would say. Chase the dream. Don't chase the dream, and everything else will follow. Don't chase the money. Don't chase the fame. If you're chasing that, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and chances are it's not going to happen for you. If you're chasing your dream, like my dream was always to be in the UFC and be one of the best in the world. I wouldn't class myself as famous or you know, I'm quite fortunate that I get to do this full time. I'm a lot more well off money wise than I thought I'd ever be, but that's just a byproduct of committing myself to training all my life and chasing the dream. Chase the dream, and everything else will follow. If you're chasing something else, then there's easier ways to make money than MMA, let me tell you.
100%. I'm sure a lot of fighters would do that. So, a hard day of cardio or a hard day of wrestling?
Fucking hell. Well, which would I prefer? Which is easier?
Yeah.
Cardio all day.
Cardio?
Yeah, like I've done 2-3 hour runs or like done an hour run and jumped in and done a bit of bike and done a bit of sparring, but you wrestle for an hour and you're ready to go and curl up in bed and die. So yeah, pick cardio all day.
And lastly, favourite submission?
Favourite submission, gotta be the rear naked choke, isn't it? I think I've got, what is
Seems to be a popular one.
7 or 8 rear naked choke win things, and that's without my amateur fight, so yeah.
Yeah.
RNC, won't go wrong with the RNC.
Awesome stuff. Well, it's been a Jack Show.